Hello, and welcome to Confident HR Conversations, the podcast designed to help you navigate challenges of communicating in English as an HR professional with confidence and clarity. I'm Alena Konečná, and I'm glad you're here.
How can a company truly unlock the potential of its employees? One powerful approach is embedding CliftonStrengths into company culture, not just as a one-time test, but as an ongoing strategy for development, leadership, and engagement. To explore this, I am joined by Lucie Přibylová, an experienced HR leader specializing in talent development and company culture. Lucie works in Iresoft, an organization that has integrated CliftonStrengths into its onboarding, leadership coaching, and everyday work environment, making strengths-based development a core part of how teams grow and collaborate. In this episode, we'll dive into how companies can successfully adopt CliftonStrengths and its impact on onboarding, leadership, and teamwork. So, welcome, Lucie. Thank you so much for accepting my invitation to Confident HR Conversations podcast. And today we will talk about CliftonStrengths. And I'm sure it's quite common knowledge already, but still, let's start with the basics. What are CliftonStrengths for you, and how do you use them in Iresoft?
Hello, and thank you for having me in your podcast. It's a pleasure to meet you. And so CliftonStrengths, I think it's quite a trendy tool. It's been for the last couple of years because I've been hearing about it all over the LinkedIn and HR world. So many HR leaders or managers or even CEOs are using it and integrating it in their strategies, I believe. So what is it? It's a tool. It's an assessment tool by Gallup, and it's actually a scientific thing because it's based on psychology, sociology, statistics, and there are many decades of research on this tool. So it used to be called Strengths Finder. Now it's CliftonStrengths Assessment. And what it shows, it gives you a new perspective on yourself. It gives you great knowledge of your talents because when you undertake this assessment, you get to know yourself so much better. You know how you behave at certain situation, how you deal with people, how you deal with projects and tasks, and basically it shows you the way you tend to approach things and relationships and everything. So it's quite a unique tool, I would say. It's not about labeling people or putting there into certain categories, but what you get is your unique setup of talents. So after receiving the report, you know your top 10 talents, which are like categorized into domains. So you know if your thinking and behaving is based on strategic talents or relationship building or influencing talents or executing. And for me, it's a very powerful tool in self-development and in company strategies. And I think it's very beneficial to work with CliftonStrengths. So if this is this enough for you for the beginning?
Thank you for the introduction, Lucie. And thank you for summarizing the big topic, because what I'm hearing is that it's a kind of a self-assessment tool to get to know each other or get to know themselves better and their strengths and they work in teams. What I'm curious is that some companies just do the test and that's it, right? They do it at the beginning. It's interesting to know, but then there's no longer term strategy, which I think is different in Metasoft. So I'm curious, how can this be used in a more long-term perspective?
Yeah. I would go one step back. You said correctly, it's a self-assessment. So of course it's subjective. So when you fill in the assessment, it's important to fill it in a way you really do things, you really think about things, not in a way you would like to be seen or you would like to behave. And then when you fill it correctly, then it really shows you your talents, your specific way of behaving and acting. So that's just one step back. And yeah, some companies definitely do the test, or they offer employees the test and they just forget to do any follow-up. And this is something we didn't want to do. And but incorporating or embedding this CliftonStrengths or the Gallup things into like long-term strategies is it's not that easy. And of course there are people who are skeptical about it. Then there are teams even in Airsoft that are very busy, and the managers who are very busy, so they can't put so many attention to this. But talking about it, every day and embedding it into like everyday things, giving the people the vocabulary, so they, because that's what Gallup says, name it, claim it, aim it, so when they name it, they really use the terms, the name of the talents in like everyday conversations with their managers or leaders. That's the thing that can help to really like put it into the core of the company. So yeah, I think like doing the test or the assessment and then going through some workshops is nice, but it's a short-term thing. And if you really want to use it into, within the whole depth of this methodology, it's important to put it through the everyday tasks and everyday conversations. Yeah, so that's what I would say about it.
Right. So it's making it part of the daily conversations, daily, I can imagine daily feedback, or not daily, but regular feedback sessions, performance.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the important thing is to get the managers and the leaders on board within this methodology, because it has to go from above. And in Airsoft, we are very lucky because we have a visionary leader, or the CEO. He's very ahead, of I think other leaders in other companies, and the idea came from him. He was the first one who got very enthusiastic and excited about this methodology. So he brought it into the company, and firstly, the management went through the reports and workshops and consultations, and then it went through the whole company. So in Airsoft, everybody's gotten the assessment, and everybody went through team workshop and individual consultations. And now it's even part of our onboarding. So every new member of Airsoft within the onboarding period goes through the assessment. And now we also have this internal talent coach, which is me. And I do the individual sessions with the people. And even though everybody has already went through it like a year and a half ago when we started working with Gallup in Airsoft, now I'm offering them to go through the consultations again, just to revive the topic and remind them their talents and get them to speak about it again. But it's voluntary. But people are interested, which I'm very glad. And I'm very grateful that Airsoft gave me this opportunity to work with this methodology, because I find it really useful and really beneficial for everybody. Yeah, but I think it has to go from above, from the management and from the leaders. And if they are into it, if they believe it can help their teams and their individuals, then it makes sense. you know, and then it's not the long-term situation we were talking about.
Well, I can imagine that this was quite a lucky situation, as you mentioned, that there was a leadership who was already on board and actually brought this methodology into the company. But still, you mentioned that not everyone is completely involved as much as maybe some others are in it. And I can imagine, because you mentioned it's a self-assessment tool. When people go through the test, they need to be honest with themselves so that it actually makes sense. And I can imagine that for some people who maybe come to this system for the first time, or they first go through that process, it might feel quite personal. Or maybe they have some other concerns. So I'm curious if you could explain a little bit how it was, the process of implementation, and maybe how did you or how the leadership addressed such concerns?
So do you mean how we address the people who were initially skeptical about the whole topic and talking about themselves, maybe not in public, but at least within the team? Yeah, I think of course it happened. Like, we were people who were enthusiastic since the beginning, like me or many other colleagues. But we are an IT company, so we have lots of introverts, people with these careful talents, like deliberative, analytical, people who really think deeply about stuff, and they don't want to share too much about themselves. We have people who are reserved, or introverts, I would say. And but when it came to the team dynamics, everybody took part in it, because when we had the team workshops, it makes sense that everybody joins and everybody is part of it. But we don't push people to share personal things, you know. Everything is on kind of a voluntary base. So share what you want to share. Someone wants to share more, someone wants to share less, someone wants to be just observer. That's also fine. I think, like, we offer very safe environment at Airsoft, and we encourage people to develop the way they want. So it's up to them what they take of this opportunity. And yeah, even now, like, sometimes when I ask, when we have like one-on-one meetings with some of the people, or we as an HR, I have like annual meetings with our employees. So when I open this topic, I can see that some of them are, wow, this was so good, and I would like to talk about it more. So can we go through the consultations again? And some of them are like, yeah, it was interesting, but I didn't take so much out of it. So yeah, I think it's fine. But when we constantly like talk about it, and when it's still like living in the company, they come across to it if they want or not. And it's the same with the leaders. You know, some of the managers are more into it. Some of them are really using the terminology, and on their one-on-one sessions, they talk about the tasks, whether they are aligned with the talents of the employees or the teammates. And some of them are not so much into it. I think it's a path we are on right now, and we are definitely not perfect. I can't say that we are a company that 100% incorporated Gallup in their strategy, but it's there. I think it's visible, and we are still working on it.
Thank you for sharing that. So what I'm hearing is that it's primarily an invitation. It's about safe space and offering it to people. And with time, some of them use it maybe a little bit more, and some of them stay a little bit more reserved, but it's not obligatory to share what they don't
Exactly.
want.
Yeah.
I see. I think that's great that it's this way, and that you keep it present in the company as well through different ways, not just the more structured ways as in workshops, but also in those smaller interactions or daily conversations. Great. Well, what I would like to now include here is a little demonstration, like we just mentioned, and that's a little role play into showing how an HR leader can support managers using the strength-based coaching. Okay, so I'm gonna be the manager struggling with a situation in his team or in her team, and you will be the HR coach or HR leader who will guide me through the situation using using the strength-based approach. And just maybe a few more details. So the industry is technical industry, and I'm a team lead in the product development. And I'm not sure if it's a good point to share also my strength at this point, or it's not necessary. What do you think, Lucia?
I think it's important. At least we can share your top 5, so we can see what kind of leadership you prefer, maybe. Yeah. So do you want to share it, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's do that. So my strengths are strategic, achiever, individualization, responsibility, and analytical. So quite, yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay. So thank you for sharing your top 5 talents. I can see that you have you have strategic talents in your top 5. Yeah, you also have executing talents, and you also have one relationship building talent. And okay, so what was what is your aim, or what's the problem you're solving right now?
Right. So I know that I should be delegating more, right?
Okay.
But whenever I go for it, I end up thinking, well, it's just easier if I do it myself. And what happens then is that I get swamped. I get just too, yeah, I get just too much on my plate. And I know that I want to trust my team more. But I'm not sure how to do that because I really hate the idea that they do things in an incorrect way. I want them to be done right. But yeah, so there's this tension. I want the things to be done right, but I also know I should delegate more. So I'm not sure how to break this cycle.
Okay. I think it's quite a common theme with actually with these 2 talents you got in your top 5 with responsibility and achiever, because these talents are a great asset, definitely. They make you very productive, very efficient, and they make you to finish things, so I think it's a very important principle when you come to leadership. But the blind spot may be the thing that you, thanks to, especially thanks also to your strategic talent, when you have this intuitive thinking and this mindset that you already know how to do things. You can see the scenarios in a chaos. You know the path which we should start, and yeah, that's probably the case when you think that you can do it on your own, because you already know the solution, and because of your achiever, you want to do it quickly and on point and precisely, and you want to finish it because that's your responsibility. So this might be these talents that are like taking the biggest part in this whole situation. But because you also have this important relationship building individualization, it means that you probably know very well your people in your team. You know their potential, you know their skills, you know what they need, because thanks to this talent, you could be a very good observer, and you can personalize your behaving towards the particular teammates. So what I would suggest is to really rely on this talent more, and to maybe align the tasks with the team members who are thanks to their talents, good at it, and then just loosen up a little bit with your responsibility and try to go and take a risk and give them, you can start with the small tasks, small tasks that are not maybe that important for you, and delegate the small task and observe how it goes. You don't have to hand on the whole strategical things because you are still the leader, the manager. But I think that when you start with small steps, like baby steps, and you give them their own responsibilities, you give them the trust, they do it good, and then you can observe from some distance. It might be worth it, and it might even deepen your relationship with the teammates. You will show them that you trust their decisions and that you can rely on them. So I think taking these like risky things, which might seem risky for you, but they are going to be a big opportunity for your for your teammates, to do things on their own, to finish things, because they also have their talents. There are also things they are very good at, and yeah, you can use your analytical talent for giving them the data and the numbers, and then just observe how they do with it. What do you think about it?
Okay, so what I'm hearing is that a good approach would be to look at each team member individually and on their strength as well, and decide which of my tasks I could slowly delegate to them and go maybe step by step. Like I don't have to start with the big things just yet, but starting with a small task and then go from there. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. And talk with them, speak with them about the income you would like to, the outcome you would like to get from them. Give them as much information as you can, because you have analytical and strategic talents, so you can give them lots of information, lots of research, and then just send them on their own way to do it and observe. That's what I would suggest.
Okay, so a lot of support at the beginning, but then leave it to them, and then kind of check in afterwards and observing how they've done and what the outcome was.
Yeah, in Erasol we say that we don't want to take our employees as in a way parent and a kid way, but we want to do it as a partnership. So consider them to be your partners in this big task, and you are working on it together, and give them more responsibilities and maybe more support and trust. And I think that they can develop, and they will be much more efficient and confident as well when you give them the freedom to decide and to start their own little projects.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it's kind of complementary when I think about that that as a manager, I would probably also know their set of strengths, which would make it easy for me to decide which tasks should be delegated to them particularly.
Yeah, because you can align the tasks with the people and with their talents. That's the most important thing. If there is someone who is not analytical and hates Excel and doing statistics, you won't give them this task, but maybe this person is very good at presentation. So if somebody prepares the data for them, they can present it in front of the whole company. So knowing your people is very important from the talent perspective, and because you have this individualization talent, you might be very good at it, knowing your people.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much. Let's stop the demonstration, and I'm curious, what is it a conversation that you have also with your managers in Itasoft, or how does it usually go?
I would love to say yes, but not yet. As I say, we are on the path to explore this thing even deeper. But some of the managers are very interested in their teammates' talents, and we talk about it. We have individual sessions when we go through it. But some of the managers are not there yet because they are too busy, or they have other priorities. But the aim is to, do it exactly the way you said, and be very supportive to our managers and help them to help their people to develop and work better.
That just made me think of one thing that I've heard. I'm not sure if it was in relation to CliftonStrengths, but the perspective that you're supposed to lean on your strengths, not to try to, really try hard to develop your weaker sides, right? Because for me, I guess I'm the kind of a person who sees a list of strengths and see, oh, these are at the bottom, maybe I need to make them better. But I think the perspective is different here, is it?
Exactly. Yeah, I think Gallup or this Donald Clifton was one of the first ones who looked at it from the different perspective, from the positive psychology perspective. So we shouldn't, or the thing that we are good at, if we work on them, we become excellent. We really get the superpowers out of it. But if we work on our weaknesses, we can be average. Maybe we can, of course, improve them somehow, but we will never be excellent. Or they hardly become the superpowers as with the top talents we have. So I think it's important to know our weaknesses. That's why we during our sessions and consultations, we go through the top down, 10 down talents, the bottom talents as well, but not in a way to improve it, but more in a way to acknowledge it, and to know that, okay, there are some areas I'm not the best, but I'm okay with it, and I can compensate it with my top areas, and I can go around somehow, or I can just find a complementary partner who can help me with this. Some of my teammates might be good at things that I am weak at, and we can join, and then there is this balance. So it's important to know the areas you are not the best at, but the aim is not to improve it, to some excellence, because I think it's not possible. Like, my lowest talent is analytical, and I hate like numbers and data and tables. Like, of course I can work with it, and I have to in my role work with tables and stuff like that, but I'm not enjoying it. It's very energy consuming thing for me, and I'm tired and I'm procrastinating. Otherwise, when I use my talents, like for example my communication talent, and I talk with people, I can discuss things, or I can write stories. That's the area when I'm good at, and I'm really enjoying, and it gives me energy, and it gives me joy. So that's the difference, how we acknowledge the weak and strong talents.
That's actually such a good news, that we don't have to feel miserable in spending with those weeks us.
Yeah.
And just to know about them, acknowledge them, as you mentioned, but then focus on energy on something that makes us excellent, and in a way that we don't need to be super people, in the sense that we have to be perfect in everything, but we really use our energy in a way that makes sense for us sustainably. I think that's a very important message. Great. Well, it is a very lucky company, because you already use CliftonStrengths quite a lot, although that you mentioned that you're still on the path. But I'm curious if you have any advice to those HR professionals who would like to introduce this methodology in their company on a little bit deeper level, not maybe just a one-off test. What could be a good starting point? Do you have any tip?
Well, I think the starting point should be getting the leaders on board, So talking with the managers or with the CEO about this approach, this Gallup methodology, and showing them maybe the results in other companies, so they can get excited about the topic. I've listened to a podcast with Jan Milfheid, who is like a big ambassador of this methodology, and he says that teams can improve, I think, by 25% when implementing this methodology, this talent-based approach. So talking with the managers about it is important. And when you implement it, try to make a long-term plan, not just one-time test assessment and now you've got your report and that's it, but really work with it and try to get the vocabulary into the company, try to get people excited about that, and maybe offer it as a benefit, because I consider it a big benefit of our company. Like we have various types of benefits. Many of them are really like focused on people, on well-being. We have this net of coaches, so people can get coached. We have psychological therapies. So we really take care of well-being of our people at Airsoft. And I think that this Gallup methodology is a big benefit as well in self-development, and it shows people, how great they are. So it really enhances the confidence, and people don't have to be sad that I'm not good at this, but they can see what they are good at and work on this. So for me, it's a big benefit. So maybe try to offer this to the company, like this can help our people. This can help the team dynamic, because when they get to know each other from this perspective, it opens so many new conversations, and it gives you a new perspective on your colleague. Maybe you were angry with someone because he's so slow and he can't, get across his idea. He's so quiet, but maybe he's quiet and slow because he's got intellection and deliberative, and he's got like really deep thoughts in their head, and he maybe just needs a time to get it, across. So be patient with him. So it gives you a new perspective on people, and it really helps the relations and the work. Yeah.
Right. So what I'm hearing is, on the one hand, there's this, let's say, a soft side where it can really help the communication and the atmosphere in the teams, but there's also some data and hard side and cases, like example cases of different companies where they make it work, like Airsoft. And people can get inspired, and HR managers or HR leaders can refer to when they talk about it with the leadership in their company. So there's definitely something to build on. Well,
Sure.
Thank you so much for sharing so much about CliftonStrengths and Airsoft and the way you do things, and how you are on this path towards using it even more, even deeper. And now, if our listeners want to reach out to you and maybe learn about how you use it in Airsoft and learn about CliftonStrengths a little bit more, how can they reach out to you?
They can reach out to me definitely on LinkedIn. So look up my name on LinkedIn, and I will be really glad to join with you or connect with you on LinkedIn. They can also send me an email to my company email. And at the Airsoft, we are very open to share what we do. So if someone wants to come and visit us and talk about it, they are very welcome. We like to share about our company culture and our everything what we do with our people, and and if they want to get more into this methodology, I'll be happy to help with this, because it's a big passion for me, and I try to educate myself in it even deeper, and I spend lots of time with Gallup and CliftonStrengths. So join me on LinkedIn, and we can have a chat about that.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Lucie. Thank you so much for coming here to our podcast, and maybe see you around next time. Have a great day.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
If you are an HR professional who wants a safe space to practice speaking in English, join our Confident HR Speaker community. We meet twice a month to discuss real HR topics, expand our vocabulary, and gain the confidence to express ourselves. Plus, you'll be supported and inspired by a group of other HR professionals who share your struggles and goals. Check the link in the description to sign up. Bye-bye.